of Africa with all the love for tech. You're watching your favorite African technology show, Swipe. My name is Marlene and I'm your host for this show. I'll be taking you across Zimbabwe and across the world to explore innovative ideas, meet the brightest minds in tech, and of course, have fun. So stay tuned. Inclusivity. Power Africa Labs is doing loads in designing housing that benefits everyone. The Swipe team paid a visit to their offices, and this is what we found out. A local research and design lab with a $12 million project portfolio and over 10,000 hours in research and design work is taking the Zimbabwean housing market by storm. Today, the Swipe team is on location to find out more from the Power Africa Labs team. Power Africa Labs is changing the way Zimbabwean builders view sustainability, inclusivity, and climate-friendly design. That's enough talk from me. We are actually here to hear from the team themselves. So, follow me. I'm here today with Leo, who is the founder of Power Africa Lab. And Leo, thank you for being with us. Could you tell us a bit more about what the Power Africa Lab is?
I always say to people, Power Africa Lab is like a chemistry lab. We are in a place of experiment, but we're doing it for cities. This is a research and design lab where all the exciting solutions are being modeled in. So we look at climate change, we look at inclusivity and sustainability in the built environment. So we're looking at how we can solve city challenges by using ideas, architecture, civil engineering, and all these tools to sort of promulgate the idea of sustainability within the community.
So, Leo, what do you think is the most pressing challenge the Zimbabwean housing market is facing today?
I always put it as three major problems. So these problems have to do with inclusivity. So our housing is not inclusive for young people. It's not inclusive for people with disability. It's not inclusive, for people who would ordinarily want to afford the housing in terms of pricing. So when it comes to inclusivity, we looked at a housing for persons with disabilities. So one of the projects we did was in partnership with the Infrastructure Development Bank of Zimbabwe, where we are building the first house for persons with disabilities in Rua, just here in Harare. So we're looking at housing should be for everybody, right? So the 15% of the population of people who cannot access housing. Then the second part, we're looking at, climate resilient housing. Case of Chipinge, the cyclone Idai, infrastructure was destroyed, housing was destroyed. Much of it has to do with the way people build. So you'd find that there is a case in designing houses for, disaster-prone areas, climate-resilient housing. And one thing that we also then look at is affordability. Is the housing market affordable? So in Zimbabwe, we're experimenting with 3D printing and prefabricated housing, where we can make a case for a $15,000 house, a $20,000 house, well built with all the interiors designed.
That's amazing. So we're talking about affordability. If I have a budget and I want to build a house and, I have a certain budget in mind, is it possible for me to come to your team and get help from you with that?
Yeah, definitely. So it depends with the case. So we do a needs-based analysis. When we consult with each other, we can design from the budget, moving towards the design that you want. Obviously, understanding your character and what type of house you want to build, and obviously a material study. So we'll give you reference to the type of materials that would fit into the context of the type of house that you want. So whatever you have, obviously it has to be reasonable within the realms of a good budget of building a good structure. So we do then reverse engineer that in terms of a needs-based analysis that we do.
What would you say are the opportunities in the housing space? Why are you working in this space specifically?
It's a 1.3 billion opportunity in terms of backlog. The global community has got 1.3 billion housing backlog. Zimbabwe alone is close to 2 million housing backlog. So we're looking at an opportunity where, in its case, we need to close that gap. We need to fund, we need to develop, and we need to, look at materials that can help better, increase opportunity. So, for example, right now, Lafarge, as of last year, they'd opened their new dry mortar factory, which was commissioned by the president, and they're looking into 3D printing. So the opportunity is now you have a value add, infrastructure inputs being manufactured locally in Zimbabwe. And we need to acquire the 3D printers and start printing the houses. So the opportunities are so fast for anyone within the value chain. So you can look at infrastructure inputs, material study, building, designing, So there's so many opportunities within the housing sector. As they try to solve the problem, we look at all those different facets and so like attack each one in its respective category.
Okay, and finally, Leo, what are you most excited about for your company?
I mean, we are living in the future. That's the exciting part about Power Africa. You know, we get to see how a 3D printer works. We get to see how prefabricated housing works. You know, a house can be set up in 10 hours and it's complete. And not just housing, other projects that we do, whether it's trying to develop a 333-hectare decentralized community, you know, you get to be there to shape the future. That keeps me awake at night. I come to work with a smile on my face knowing that we did that, we're gonna do this. So I think that's part of the excitement that I get with. It's like you're trying to reinvent sort of like how things are turning and you are there at the edge of everything. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for having us. After the break, for the parents out there, discover how your future genius can create computer games and so much more with code. Don't go away. Welcome back. The Maker Club in Harare proves that you're never too young to start being innovative. Let's find out how they are making technology fun. So we're here in one of the Maker Club labs, and Simba, this is amazing. You said earlier that you work with schools. Could you tell me a bit more about how that experience has been?
It's been a bit of a challenge because of what's happened, as you know, with the pandemic that's happening. We've had a lot of kids out of school, and as a result, the kids were behind in their studies. So really getting time for the kids in schools has been a bit of a challenge. Schools are really busy trying to get their kids back up to speed. One of the other challenges we face as well is this is something new, and trying to fit that into an existing system we found that a bit of a challenge. The schools we've managed to interact with, we've had very good responses from them.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the gadgets. We have some really interesting things right here on the table. So let's start with this. This looks really interesting. Could you tell me a bit more about this machine here?
Right. So this is a project we get to do with kids as young as 5 years old. Okay. They get to build this. And this particular one it's a hydraulic crane. So would you like to?
Yes, I'd like to give it a shot.
Yes.
And see, so I just push down on this.
You push down on that.
Oh, wow.
And you find that it actually gets it to move. So you can push down and you can pull.
Okay.
So you notice, so that's controlling the claw.
Yes.
And I'm controlling the up and down motion.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
So now.
So what are the children learning from this robot here?
Right. So we get the young kids to actually build this right from scratch.
Wow.
We get to give them all the materials as just pieces of wood. Now, they're taught to use rulers and pencils at school. Mm-hmm. And a lot of young people just think, oh, these are just rulers and pencils. Yet, rulers and pencils are what engineers use. Right. They use that for dimensions and measurements. So we would typically give them the wood. We would present them either with a working sample or some blueprints. They get to measure the pieces of wood. We teach them to use basic tools like saws. They get to cut the pieces themselves. We teach them how to use drills in a safe environment. And they get to drill all the holes and actually put it together.
Yes, I'm hoping it's safe because I don't know if I trust kids with drills, to be honest. But this looks amazing. So they're basically learning engineering from a very young age.
Yes. While they're learning engineering, the takeaway for them is they get to build something awesome. Now, as they are building this, now it might look like it's just a hydraulic machine, but it actually has a lot of connections with the curriculum, both the ZIMSEC curriculum, the Cambridge curriculum, because as they are building this, before we build this, we actually carry out some experiments to learn about, for example, the properties of matter. So now this uses a liquid as a hydraulic fluid, but prior to this, we actually carry out experiments with, okay, what would happen if we use gas? So they get to learn about how gas, for example, is compressible, and therefore it cannot transfer force, whereas liquids are not compressible, and therefore they can transfer force easily. We get to talk about, okay, what is a force? Things that are already in the curriculum. We get to talk about simple machines. So simple machines are they are part of the foundational things taught in science, in any science curriculum, where you're talking about levers, about screws, about wheels and axles. So they get to learn how levers are used to leverage force, and they get to see how the curriculum is actually applied in real life. Once they've built this, we also make connections with real life, where you find that earth-moving equipment, for example, uses the same principles to enable machines to do heavy lifting. We get to talk about some of the careers that they can have there. So the beauty about our program, what makes it stands out is that it encompasses so much that they get to learn in a very short space of time. And because they're building something that they are emotionally invested in, they find it easy to assimilate what they learn at school.
That's fantastic. I know something else we talked about is that you teach the children to be able to do some coding. So I know this machine here is actually controlled by code. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Right. Our program has continuity. So whilst this is the entry point, they get to learn to use basic tools to build something like this. The end result is we would like to make connections with what's happening in the 21st century workplace. Robotics, for example, where a machine similar to this is controlled with code. So this is actually it's a robot that we have made here at the Maker Club, and it's 3D printed here in our 3D printing lab. It's actually a model of robots that you get to see on YouTube videos that are assembling cars. So it actually has, it can move forward, right? It can move down and up, and it has got claws. It also has a rotational motion, so that can rotate, and all these are controlled by code. The coding program that we take young kids through also enables them to be able to control things like this. So they start by getting to build something that they control themselves, and the end result is they get to build something they can control using computer code.
Wow, this is incredible. And I know you also teach some children that are as young as 5 years old, and some of those children have even created something like this, which is very interesting and very cool to see. Could you tell me a bit more about how you go through teaching younger children and building things like this?
All our projects are actually at we do the projects at an age-appropriate level. So we wouldn't expect, for example, for a 5-year-old to maybe use a saw very well. So we would, for the 5-year-olds, they would build this, but they would use parts that have been pre-cut, and what they do is they then get to assemble. But the older, the 9-year-olds would get to do that. So also for the young kids, the 5-year-olds, we have some projects that are more age appropriate. For example, we call this the Doodlebot. It's a robot that we get them to build with things they can find around the house. And just to reinforce the idea that everything surrounding us all started as an idea, and somebody took those ideas, combined them with the creativity, and they learned to collaborate and came up with awesome things. So this is a robot that's made from, that's a cup basically, and these are markers. And when the kids get to build this, it actually draws. So if I set it on the table and I switch that on, and as it is moving, Okay, when we remove the covers from the markers, it actually moves slowly and it draws patterns.
That's incredible. Very excited about that. I know this is probably a more advanced version of that. I saw you kind of playing with this earlier, so let's give that a shot. So that's amazing. Don't want to get that, don't want to break anything today. But okay, one more thing. I'm excited about all of these tools that you built. You mentioned that this was built with a 3D printer, and I know you have some 3D printers right here in the lab. Could you tell us a bit more about 3D printing and how you created this?
3D printing is a technology that is totally transforming the 21st century workplace. Literally every career is being impacted by 3D printing. And so we felt it fitting for young people to get to know this technology, because really by the time they leave school for the workplace, these are the tools that they will be working with.
There's so much to explore at the Maker Club, but as always, time flies when you're having fun. The future of our country is in good hands. So for the last segment of our show, we'll be focusing on trending topics in the tech industry.
Hey guys, welcome back to Swipe. I'm with Ed and Valentine today again. Before we start, a moment of silence. RIP iPod. Okay, so Apple has discontinued one of the most iconic, second only to the iPhone in terms of sales and popularity. They've discontinued the iPod. And I can say it's an emotional time for me, even though I only ever owned one. But I can say it's something that, you know, I'm sad to see go away, but at the same time, I can understand that it was necessary. Yeah, let's talk about it. Why did they discontinue the iPod?
Why continue it?
Yeah.
It's iTunes, Spotify, Deezer. There's no point in continuing something when there's no streaming. And
Not even for people who are just in it for, being enthusiastic and being a collector, or just having another Apple device included in your Apple ecosystem.
I mean, you guys might be the generation that then goes back to revisit the iPod, but yeah, millennials are now doing vinyl and cassette tapes. And
HomePods?
I mean, smart speakers.
yeah, true. Could link it.
Okay, I admit smart speakers are good. Though they discontinued the big HomePods.
I don't know why.
I'm the type of person who would need an iPod. Or, you know, any of these other devices that are, you know, just being kicked out and being discontinued. Because, you know, it's fun having a lot of gadgets to play with. I don't know, but that's not everyone.
I have a drawer full of phones, but no one must know.
I get it, like you were saying before, like Deezer, Spotify, you know, like just streaming YouTube music. I don't.
But
think
who uses YouTube Music anyway?
Yeah, who does? Yeah,
Like-
but Spotify. So yeah, there's no need to keep music.
I mean, you can though, because you can download music from Spotify, like for offline. Like when I'm driving out of town and there's no network, I'll just download playlists for offline.
And
It's on my
but
phone.
it's just in-app.
Yeah, I don't get the need for an iPod.
Us pirates don't like you, right? I'm playing.
I mean, pay your $2.99, guys. It's not
Just
that expensive.
$2.99.
It's $2.99 a month. You got everything you need.
But then also, I think it's an evolution of tech as well, because if you notice, the iPod was pretty popular back in the day because music files were large. So keeping them in your smartphone that you use for other stuff was a bit of a problem, because you'd soon run out of storage just curating your inventory of music. So that's why you'd get like iPods with like 8 gigs of storage, which I don't know, in like 2004 or something was a lot of storage. 8 gigs of music was wild. And then 16 and then 32. And then this other dude put a terabyte of storage in an iPod Classic. I don't know how, but it worked somehow. But yeah, like it was just a way of having media storage heavy files on a separate device from the device that you use for other more important stuff like
Or
communication.
the phones back then that had more than 16 gigabytes of storage.
So that's the thing. It was only Nokia and Apple that had like really high storage smartphones.
I think the iPod was gonna be was a good gaming alternative for most people. Like, you know, if you hear me out,
That's vibes.
Yeah.
Imagine this is 2014. Yeah, you know, you've got your phone and you know it's got your stuff already, your business stuff, your contacts, all your social media accounts, maybe, you know. And then, you know, you just want a device that's yours. Like no messages from work, no, you know, none of that jazz. It's just your music and your games, you know? You know, play a good game of Candy Crush. I don't like Candy Crush though. Play a good game of what was popular? Hill climb racing, you know. I think
Temple Run.
Yeah, Temple Run, exactly. Fruit Ninja. You know, those were
Yes.
Fruit Ninja was a good game.
Guys,
And you know it.
You could get it on a Nokia, mate.
Bro.
No, I'm good.
I thought Apple was gonna take an interesting route. Instead of discontinuing, I thought they were gonna make the iPod into some sort of flagship gaming device, like their own line. You know what I like about iPod? You know how they went Twitter for iPod whenever you're using Twitter. Yeah. Speaking of Twitter, a super villain-looking man, Elon Musk, is having a bit of a spat with the chief executive of Twitter concerning 25% of the users on Twitter being spam bots. Hence, he wants a 25% discount, like 25% discount of $44 billion. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Elon Musk is crazy, first of all. Let's get that out of the way.
You know, the guy can send literally, I don't know, some drone right now.
Yeah, they'll run out of battery before they get to the sea. I'll be fine. No, Elon is bold.
No, okay.
He's bold. He's bold. I like the way that he's bold. He doesn't usually make sense to me because, like, buying Twitter, why would a billionaire want to buy a social media platform?
Because he can.
And
Okay,
also
but-
because free marketing.
But he can't afford it anymore now because didn't he leverage the stock of Tesla to buy the Twitter? Because he doesn't have $44 billion lying around, you know that, right? It's assets and investments. So I don't think he has that since the Tesla stock kind of sort of tanked this week or late last week. So his valuation goes down. 44 billion is a lot of money, guys. So no.
Okay.
You can't get it to, like, spam bots exist on any platform. But they have a user behind them, so they act like an independent.
So wait, is that why he wants the discount? Because
Kind of. He's just being a baby. It's because he can't afford it.
he's not being a baby. I kind of get him.
I don't. I
kinda
don't.
get
He
it.
sold me so many dreams that he's a henchman who got, like, promotions.
Yeah.
And now he's just at the top of the world and he's got a nosebleed.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Elon Musk.
Fanboy.
For the people. I'm not a fanboy. He's just.
He's just
fine,
what?
fine. Maybe I am a bit of a stan.
How can you
Fan.
stand a man who has delivered one product, 1.5 products, Tesla and SpaceX?
Because he's cool. Okay. Okay, but you're definitely hating. He's hating.
Oh, these are all facts. Not gonna lie to you. All facts. Look in the camera. 110%.
Okay, you wanna know what else is to
Percolate.
the max? A game phone with maxed out specs.
Yes.
Guess. Any takers?
I remember writing an article about
Republic of Gamers. Okay, so
Republic of
Asus.
Yes.
You know, Wally J is a bit of a gamer man. He's a bit of a gamer man or mobile gaming. Yeah,
Yes.
mobile gaming.
Power to the people.
Power to
No,
the people.
down.
Yeah, power to the people in your palms.
No.
Yes.
Not enough power.
It's got
No, the
fans
ROG
in
is
it.
cool.
144 hertz refresh rate.
I got 90.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough, but then okay.
Yeah.
This is just the specs of this phone. 144 hertz refresh rate, 16 gigabytes of RAM,
Yes.
Wow, okay, that's impressive.
Snapdragon 888 5G
Yeah.
chip. Yeah, of course it's last year's phone, so they haven't really like released a new one. So yeah, it's still getting. I wouldn't say it's getting buried though by Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 phones, but then
Nah.
yeah, it's still the best.
So competent.
Of course, the
Still
RGB.
bad
Who
power.
doesn't like RGB?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
The ROG logo.
Okay, so my question to you guys is: do you know people in the esports arena in Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Mobile gamers, besides myself, who would want that kind of power?
So funny.
Sort
No. Funny thing is, the other day I was just chilling in Steers, gaming
On your phone.
on my ROG laptop.
Oh. Yeah, that's the ROG. Yeah,
ROG, mate. And then
this guy. Okay.
and then this guy approached me and he's like, "Yo, you're a gamer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a gamer." He's like, "Yo, I'm in this group where like a PUBG thing and whatnot. We play with guys in SA, guys in Zim and whatnot. Like it's a huge community that I did not know about." And yeah, we talked a lot about gaming phones
Yeah.
and they're cool.
Yeah,
they're
very
really
cool.
cool.
People.
And
The gaming community in Zim is really cool. I think we just need a bigger platform because
but then again, it's an internet thing as well because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pings in Zim are tough.
Yeah.
They're really tough. Like I would play other Zimbos in Zim so that it's a level playing field.
Yeah.
But then like the ROG phone is cool because it also has some cool buttons on it. So air triggers.
the shoulder triggers. The triggers, the air
So
triggers.
you can actually use the thing is a controller on a phone. It's like a Switch. It's like a Nintendo Switch, but
Oh yeah, low-key,
Full
they've got
screen.
those attachments, you know, like
Yeah.
with the analog and you know the other one with the buttons.
Yeah, and two
X,
USB
whatever, and
ports.
two USB
Feels like
ports.
you guys want to reinvent the wheel. PCs and consoles exist for a reason.
Yeah, but then you want to game on the go.
yes.
You want to game on the
Where you
go.
going? Where on the
I'm
go?
going to school.
Somewhere.
I'm in the back seat. Mom is driving me. I'm being chauffeured. I feel like the world is just collapsing, and I just want to escape. And you know,
What you do?
boom!
You know what you do?
ROG phone.
Pick up a book.
Load up PUBG.
Pick up a
Load
book.
up Genshin
Read a
Impact.
book. Get some music.
Load up Real Racing.
And then when you get home, you then properly get. I hate it.
Where's the fun in that?
I
He
hate
wants
it.
to.
I hate it.
When I'm at home, I'm gonna be using a PC. Like he said, he's gonna be using his ROG laptop.
Yeah.
When you're on the go and you know your friend is just like, Wally J, let's go to Pochinki.
And also the
that's a
flex.
place in PUBG. You should play PUBG. It's
Nah,
awesome.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's a flex.
Yeah, so I think the ROG phone is necessary and for people in Zim, for me, for you, for everybody. You know,
Okay.
a recent phone that's got the latest chipset is the ZTE Nubia Red Magic 7 Pro, and that's also a gaming phone as well. Also has an AMOLED display, also 144 hertz. But this one takes 2 steps further. It's got 2 extra gigs of RAM, so it's 18 gigs altogether.
And it's got a built-in fan.
Yeah. External cooling systems are cool though. But yeah, who would want to? Ooh, external cooling systems are cool. Any takers? No. Okay, no one's gonna buy it. That's fine. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you guys. All right, this is it. Thank you for watching Swipe. Join us again next time and continue swiping. Get it? Swiping. All right, no takers. Bye.